What's up guys, my name is Doe, and today is part 2 of the full playthrough for Dauntless. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the quest from Wills Borman. This is pretty much where we left off from yesterday. And this is for us to slay Lesser Rask and upgrade any weapon to +1. So we're pretty much getting all the Lesser Behemoths out of the way, and Lesser Rask is, I believe, the last one on the chalking block for Rat Meow. Before we fight this, I actually want to equip gear this time. That's the wrong button. I've been playing in recruit gear like an idiot, which I don't suggest doing. But I'm gonna go to Moira real quick. She's the armor smith, and I'm gonna go ahead and craft some more gear to give you guys some options on what you can use to slay your way. It's like Subway, but not. So if you guys, and by the way, this is all these upgrades are from what you guys have seen so far in the last playthrough. I haven't played anything extra. What I'm gonna do for this whole playthrough is I'll log in and play. There's no playing off of the recording, none of that stuff. This is all upgrades you get from just playing the game like I've been doing. If you get as many part breaks as I get, which is completely possible. But to give you guys some options for gear and things that I would suggest, if you guys expect to be dodging pretty frequently, then you can run evasive. You can run a Bloodfire helmet and chest piece, and then Gnasher gloves and Gnasher feet. That's if you guys expect to be dodging, because with this loadout and the weapon, you get plus evasive fury without having any cells added into your gear, any augmented cells in your gear. So you can do this if you plan to dodge. If you don't think you'll dodge very well, you can instead use Gnasher helmet and Gnasher. Actually, I would keep the Bloodfire helmet just because. Or matter of factually, I would go Boreas helmet and then the rest Gnasher if you don't plan to dodge that much, because this will give you some conditioning so you can have some more stamina regeneration, and then you'd have like a whole freaking a very ugly collection of cells. But in the beginning it doesn't really matter too much. It's more so about the gear you have, and you can slot in any cells that you really have because anything helps except for Sidequest +3. But in my case, I'm going to be running the Emberbane stuff just because why not. And to make sure I can get some more cells, I'm going to constantly be checking the core breaker and breaking open cores to get more cells, which is hopefully what happens. And speaking of getting cells, every single day or every 24 hours, Grace is okay, but you need more than +3 to make it useful. IMO. But every 24 hours, you can go to the store, and this is free by the way, and you can do this. This is a free daily login bundle that gives you 2 random uncommon cells, 1 patrol chest, and 15 ace chips. Ace chips are used at the middleman, which I'll be explaining once we get the middleman quests. But doing that, you can then go to the core breaker and bust open the core. And this is a great way to spend your day. Agility and Lucent, nothing crazy, but they are cells that are useful if you have nothing else. So in this case, I'm going to slot in whatever I can. I'll go with conditioning there. I have no power cells yet, and I have no technique cells yet. And these are all the oh wait, no, we have a side quest. Like I said before, or in the last video, purple exclamation marks and question marks are for side quests, which some cases are just as important as main quests, and it's kind of hard to distinguish. But most of the time, that's not really the case. So this is for the Hump Pass, and this dude's telling you to draft a bounty on the bounty list. So we're going to go ahead and accept this, and this is important for doing the Hump Pass. So on the keyboard you press J. If you're on console, I don't believe you have like a hotkey to this, but you use the options key, and you go to quests and bounties, and then you hit the right bumper, which I don't play control. I have no idea what it is. So it's that, and this is for the bounty board. So bounties let you choose how to level up your Hunt Pass. The more difficult they are, the more XP you get. That's like the main takeaway. And the difficulties range from bronze to silver to gold. Bronze being 20 XP, silver being 40 XP, and gold being what is gold? Gold is 100. Also, by the way, I have a lot more tokens than you do because this account has been reset. I reset this account, so I maintain a couple of things every time I reset it. I didn't have enough emails to make new accounts. I didn't feel like making a new one. So this account is reset, so it's all fair and balanced. And I'm not really here to do the hunt pass. I'm mostly here to show you guys how to do the game. But you dropped a bounty, you pick whatever you want. If you pick something you don't like let's say I pick dodge to 30 physical attacks and I feel like it's gonna take forever. If you don't want it at all, I would suggest trying to stick with it as much as you can, but if you really don't like it, you can, if you want to, abandon the bounty. If you want. You can have 4 bounties active at any time, and once you complete them, you have to click on them to get rid of them and get a new bounty when you're in Ramsgate. You can't do it in the airship, so that's kind of a bummer, but that is how that goes. But in doing that, we finished this side quest, and now we are good to go. I believe that's all from this nerd for now. Let's go ahead and go slay a lesser Rask. Which you could bring different weapons for Rask. Like you could use the axe, you could use all kinds of stuff, which I'm really debating using the axe, TBH. If I can even make it. Ooh, I can. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll make the actually. Yeah, I'll make a Boreas axe. Now, never mind. I'll save my stuff. I'm trying to be very tactical in how I make certain gear, because Boreas axe isn't bad, but Boreas sword is better. So I'm actually going to be making a Boreas sword, because this will give me a lot more damage for my special. So I'm gonna craft this and actually equip it, and then call that today's. Because Boreas sword gives you more damage once you act out your special, whereas the Embermane sword just gives you more part damage for X amount of hits. So in this case, I would prefer more damage. If you guys want to use the Embermane sword for the extra part damage, up to you. But I want the more damage. I want more damage because of the special. Using your special continually generates frost sprites that grant your next attack 30 plus 30 damage and minor frost damage. So this is giving me actual damage to make my hunts a bit faster. I'll go ahead and equip this. I think this is from, that was from the daily core I opened, by the way. The lanterns don't have any other options yet. Just waiting for those. Man. Fashion in Dauntless is important. I look scraggly, man. Looking not fresh right now. And this is a map, dude. I'm telling you, I have not played on these maps in a month. Like, I've just been doing escalation, which you'll see later on in Dauntless. But I've been doing escalation all the time, so these maps are strange. But okay, so when you land on these maps, there are gatherable plants and ores sometimes. They're sometimes out of the way, but it's good to get them because you can make potions that help you out in a very good way. And one of the rarest to come by, or not rarest, but one of the most used materials is something called Wrathwort, which are these mushrooms. These are used a lot, and it's kind of annoying, but this is a really good map to get them rather quickly, and there are also some over there. Also, this music is... That's sound effects. Music. My sound settings are scuffed, man. I don't know why it's so loud. Like, it feels like it should be quiet, but it just cranks up the volume. So, I could actually use my lantern to see where it's at, because this is the beginner lantern, and it gives you a blue-like little particle effect to point in the direction of the behemoth. In this case, it is over yonder, down, I don't know directions, but it's this way. We're gonna go with the casual this way instead of, like, you know, northeast, southwest. Those are for noobs. The best direction is this way. This is Lesser Rask, and I imagine it's gonna try and electrocute me. Maybe not. Oh, it does. So most Rasks start off the fight with that little electric shot. If you're in front of it, it's kind of annoying to dodge. It's kind of hard to dodge. It's a cool attack though. But I'm gonna keep messing it up. I want to break off the tail here after I break the face. Try to stagger it, I guess. That was a stagger and a break. I broke the head and I broke a part at the same time. That cancels the stagger, which is not a great thing. Okay, pop my special and then go to town. So this behemoth, if you guys are getting like bodied by it, don't be worried, because it has some really hard to distinguish tells. Like, it's hard to see what it's doing sometimes. I played this game a lot, so I can tell, but it moves its body. Like, its whole body will give you tells on what it's trying to do. Like right now it's trying to hit me with a claw attack. And since it's slowed, you can kind of see what it looks like. This is a tailspin. It's slowed, so it's really annoying to dodge because my timings, it's always like slowed behemoths, which happens from a frost proc, which happens from a frost weapon, throw off my timings very greatly. That's a charge. So that gives you a lot of time to react to it, but it always messes me up. I'm getting bodied now. Hello? Okay, I've broken that arm, even though it's hard to tell. This leg though, looking kind of juicy. And it's hopefully gonna come off before it dies. Or not. Or not. So we got the tail, the head, and I think we got at least one leg, and that's what I expect like people to try and go for. At least a head break, a leg break, or like a leg or arm break. It's the same thing. And a tail break. Those are good part breaks to get because that will keep you chugging along and crafting gear at a pretty decent amount or decent rate, you know, because it does get to a point where it's kind of like, oh, I could have crafted this piece of armor if I had one more piece or one more break. So always try and get as many breaks as you can, and to do that, always try and hit for yellow. Like always try and hit for a number and see like yellow as part of the numbers, because for the damage legend, part damage is yellow. So always try and hit for part damage. Well, we finished that quest, and we also have a core in the yonder. We're going to turn this quest in, and this gives us some rams, some orbs to craft with, and then some plants to make potions. So main quest complete. Nice. And by the way, if you guys want to keep track of your main quest, if you guys sort of like lose track of what's going on, you can, I believe, no, what's the button? Hello? Oh, it's J. So if you're on PC, press J. Console options, go to quests, and whatever your quests are, your main quest will be right here because it says main quest, and your side quest will be right here. So you can keep track, and I'll go ahead and get a quest and show you that you can track them when you're in Ramsgate, which is kind of neat. So I'll go ahead and activate a quest and show you what I mean by that. So hunt lesser Quillshot. Actually, there's one more lesser behemoth. There's no. Hey, wait, is there a lesser Shrike now? There probably is. I haven't done this in a while. Upgrade piece of armor from each slot to +1. So I've actually already done the upgrading part for both weapon and the armor, because like if you break enough parts, you can do that really easily. It's kind of nice. But to show you guys what I mean by the tracking part, you can, like in the top right, you see it says quest best defense. If you don't like that, you can untrack it and it goes away. But if you want to track something different, you can track that as well. You can just change what you're tracking whenever you want. I'm not going to do the hunt pass, I don't think. I do suggest doing it if you guys are playing. So we have another core open, and this is going to hopefully give us a power cell. Or we can get robbed too. I'm cool with that, I guess. I ain't mad. Even though it's messed up. So we're going to queue for lesser Quillshot. I swear, lesser Quillshot's new. It has to be. Or it's new enough. But for Quillshot, I actually want to use a different weapon. I want to play the axe, I think. If I can craft it. Which we can. We can make a Rask axe. Oh, lit. This will give us a lot of damage, too. I can do Rask axe, or I can do hammer. If you guys are here, I would ask you which one you prefer, but you're not, so... Rest in pepperoncinis. Okay, so the slots are the same on both the axe and the hammer. Trying to think which one I'd like more. You know, I'm gonna go with the hammer. I'll show you guys what a hammer can do. Bloodless, no power cell still. And once we get back to Ramsgate, I'll go ahead and craft some more gear and see what I can do. Because right now, I can't craft past +1 for anything, and that's kind of a bummer. So there's no real point in going too ham on that. We're gonna have some, I'll have some attack speed to make the hammer better to use, so you can actually do some damage. That's kind of nice. Stun a lantern, and this build is definitely a beaut. That's all I can say. This is definitely interesting, to say the very least. But Quillshot is a behemoth that isn't very rough until you fight the the older versions, because they get some messed up tricks up their sleeves that kind of ruin your whole day. But Quillshot's a pretty stationary behemoth for the most part. It does have some moves that it'll like charge at you, and those are some really fast tells. Like it does give you like it gives you tells on what it's going to do, but they're really fast. It's really hard to distinguish what's happening. Oh, and this nerd spawned in Narnia. But this map is actually kind of nice because depending on how far back the behemoth spawns, it's not a huge deal because you can collect a lot of plants along the way. And there are a ton of different spots to pick up plants. You don't have to go out of your way to collect them. Just go ahead and pick up whatever's in front of you, and you'll be fine. And when we get back to Ramsgate, I want to actually show you guys what you can craft with this stuff, because I think you should have access to craft potions now. I would imagine you finally have access to do that. But it should be... okay, it's right here. It can either spawn here or it can spawn back there. There are 5 spawn points on this map. This thing is purple? Okay. So, with regular gear, I've already staggered it. Okay, I'm hoping it attacks me and I can dodge it to get some... never mind. Nope. I was hoping to get some, the young move speed. There it is. Or not move speed, attack speed. Staggered again. Go to sleep. Night-night. So right there, I'm priming attacks on the hammer. You shouldn't prime all your attacks on the hammer because you want to save them for your Aether Slam. Not because it's more damage per se. It's just faster. It's a faster DPS to do it that way. But to prime your attacks, use your secondary attack button on most weapons during a swing. And you can prime attacks that way. The hammer does work, man. Like, if you know how to play the hammer, it is a very strong weapon to use throughout Dauntless. Like, whether it's early game, late game, it's really strong. But it doesn't do super well on very fast behemoths because they make it hard to actually Aether Slam, which is where most of your damage comes from. Most of your DPS comes from, rather. Okay, it's AFK. Should be dead, though. So it's a pretty fast hunt. Hammers just do a lot of damage, and they are just a really effective weapon throughout Dauntless. Now, there are better weapons, though. Like, well, there's one better weapon for sure that you haven't unlocked yet. Once we get it, I'll explain what it does and why it's so good. But right there, we didn't get too many break parts just because I wasn't really focusing them. I was just trying to get that kill done quickly because for Quillshot, there isn't much gear that I recommend from Quillshot. Like, at the moment, it's just not that great. Like, Quillshot is a behemoth that gives you a lot of acidic... his weapons have acidic, which I suggest not using acidic if you're early, because if you're starting the game out, because it's not very helpful. It cuts your part damage in half, and you need part damage to break off parts to craft gear. So that's not exactly a good thing. And then the rest of his gear is focused around wounding and increasing the benefits of wounds, but wounds aren't that great right now. At the very moment of the game, they're just not that solid. They're getting reworked though to where they'll be better, but in the current state, they're just not that great, especially not in the early game, I don't think. But we finished that quest. Gotta turn that biscuit in. Gotta get a lot of orbs actually. We get all kinds of orbs. We popping right now. And now we have a quest. Oh, okay, I'm getting my steps in, dude. My Fitbit's activated. But to go over some more gear I can craft, I think I might stick with, until I get more cells, I'm going to stick with my current set. If I had power cells, like a lot of them, I would instead be crafting some of this Rask gear, most likely. But I don't have any cells that are helpful right now to what I want to do. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to stick with what I got. There's no point in making anything more. But once I can actually have access to more stuff, I will begin crafting different builds and explaining different options you can use in Dauntless when you're going through the game. But I think we finally have a quest. No, we don't. Okay, I think we should be able to make some potions from this nerd. We can't. You are not. He doesn't want business, man. I got the shrooms, man. Okay, so prove to Casserel that you can handle the many responsibilities of the Slayer. Achieve Slayer level 3, hunt Skarn, complete Middleman quest. I'll explain the Middleman here in a little bit. And complete the Bosun's quest, the Amateur Alchemist. Oh, so now we get potions. Wow, nice. Nice. Behemoth Mastery. Do I want to explain that yet? I don't know. So, gather alchemic regents, hello? Alchemical regents, and field test helpful tonics for Bosun Marcus Boer. Rewards are schematics and whatnot. Nice. But can I actually make potions from you yet? I can! Poggers! Wait. I'm getting, oh. I can craft just the regular ones. So these, okay, so potions in Dauntless are very useful if you are having a hard time killing behemoths. If you have a hard time killing a certain behemoth, you can bring potions to give yourself a boost to try and actually close out the kill and just do better overall. And the potions that you have access to right now aren't exactly the best for doing that. Like Bort tonics, which we'll be getting soon, are super good for that. Like they help you out a ton because they reduce damage taken by 45% for the next 3 hits. This is one of the best tools in Dauntless, like for consumables, if you're trying to learn the game and progress, like for your first time. And the regions are blue plants and white plants. It's also sky bloom and iron thistle, but I feel like the colors are more important than the names, you know. Especially for newer players. But let's go ahead and talk to the middleman. This is a person that is very useful. This is a person that has insane value in the early game, but that same value falls way off in the late game. It has diminishing returns, as very smart people would say. But in the early game, he is an insanely good tool. And this quest will give you a ton of good cell, or I shouldn't say good. It'll give you a ton of cells, and you'll have more variety, and that's a pretty good time. So let's go ahead and accept this, and it says to infuse any cell into any piece of crafted gear. So I haven't explained how to do this yet, but you've seen me do it before. And to explain how this works, it's somewhat simple. So, first things first, you need to open your equipment. On PC, you press I. On console, you go to options. Console, for everything that you can't do on PC, you go to options. Go to options, and then once you're here, you'll see that I have like these symbols that are either blank or they're green right now. Well, those are either cell slots, or those are either cell slots if they're blank, or they are cells in cell slots if they're green. And to infuse cells into your gear, you click it, and then if you're on console, you just scroll down to the thing you want to infuse, and you click it again. And if you have a cell, which you do, you can infuse it. And then that is how you infuse cells. It's that simple. You're good to go. If you want to infuse a different cell, you can just either clear slot and then go down here, or you can just click on the other cell to infuse. That is how cells work, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple once you understand how to actually do it. So we've infused a cell, and we should be golden. And I think he's actually okay, we already finished the quest because I already had cells infused. My bad. I already had cells in my gear, so there's that. But to explain the middleman a bit further, I actually have a video I just made on the middleman that's updated, and it explains how it works in pretty good detail. I couldn't do a very good job in this video that you're watching right now, but if you want to watch a more in-depth view on the middleman, I have a video in the top right corner linked, and also in the description, so you can check it out if you want to. But if you don't, let's go ahead and move to the next thing in this this video. So the next quest we have, or the next part in this quest we have, is to hunt Skarn. And to do that, my best suggestion to you is to use a blunt weapon. At the moment, you only have access to one blunt weapon, which is a hammer, which I have equipped. So this will make killing Skarn much faster, because Skarn has, it won't even check. Skarn has a modifier that I don't know, like, oh, here it is. Skarn's rock armor is reinforced and tough to break. Use blunt damage to destroy it. So the only weapons in Dauntless that do blunt damage at the moment are hammers and strikers. You don't have access to strikers if you're at the same progress I am. Instead, you only have access to a hammer. So this is going to make it much easier to defeat Skarn. And lucky for us, we already made a hammer. We are good to go, and we are gaming. Also, what's my Slayer level right now? Slayer level 5. Okay, that's mastery. I don't want to go too ham into that yet. Dude, there's a very angry baby in the room. Ruining my playthrough. Okay. So we can actually equip some potions, and if you guys want, you can bring some bulwark tonics. This will, again, reduce damage taken. You can have some blitz tonics to give you more attack speed, and this will just make your hunts a lot easier and smoother. And we also have some cells to put in our gear, which is litty. Love to see it. Like, it's best to try and make sure that when you're playing Dauntless, just try and make sure that you have cells put into your cell slots. Because they give you bonuses, and those bonuses are also called perks, and they help you out a ton. They make the game a lot easier. And at a certain point, you get very strong once you have like the right cell selection for certain weapons. Let's go ahead and get this rodeo on the road again. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know anymore. And this is the same map we were just on, because variety is not the best. It's not in the best form right now. But the exact same map, and there are the exact same spawn points. Like every time you're on the same map, there are the same variation of spawn points you can have. So this map has this map has, for spawn points, like initially, I think it has 5 total, or 4 total. And they're just along this little route to go up the mountain. So it's not here. And by the way, for Skarn is going to be in the ground. It's going to be like burrowed, so you can actually mistake it for not being a behemoth, but in this case, it glows yellow. And it looks the same as the Aether Vent. By the way, it's kind of a cool thing. Don't charge me. So a hammer is that strong in this fight. What? That's right. Yo, you hit me, I break your arms, bro. That's how Mafia works. Missed my thing. Go ahead and reload. Oh, doing this. So this is a interruptible attack. That's a damage threshold. Whenever it's on its hind legs like that, standing for a while, that's a damage threshold. Do enough damage with a attack that can boop or interrupt, and you will boop or interrupt it. So weapons that can do this are pretty much every left click in the game, or every primary attack can do that, except for pike and strikers, I believe. Pike, strikers, and yeah. And repeaters. This is gonna be. Oh, don't hit me, please. Or not, or do. That's cool. Wait. So you can also break attacks. You can break body parts, and that'll also cancel the attack. But you'd rather just get the damage interrupt to get the most time, like the biggest time window for it being staggered or knocked over. I'm gonna go ahead and break some more pieces. I was hoping I'd break the leg armor before it enraged. Don't hit me again. Oh, thank the Lord. That's a shock proc, by the way. So most of the elements in this game have a status effect, and the shock status effect is it like paralyzes it for a little bit. And to do that, it's just based on hits, I believe. It's like how many hits you do to a behemoth, and that will trigger the effect. The harder the behemoth is, the higher the amount of hits it requires. The higher the amount of hits it requires. My lord. Bro, it just about nudged me with its arm. All messed up like. So I'm using Rask hammer. I should be focusing on the head for more damage. Like that's the thing too, like when you're using the hammer, or this hammer specifically, you're not going to get the most part breaks, just because you want to focus the head to get the most damage out of the weapon. But Skarn gear, like the Quillshot gear, isn't that great. The weapons are kind of neat, but they're also not that great. Like there are much better options. And when we get back to Ramsgate, I'm going to see what I can craft and see what my next quest is, and I might just call it there. Because I don't want these to get any longer than this, man. This is going to be dude, this playthrough is going to be long, bro. But this is Counter and Sorrel. Let's see what the... Okay, so go forth and slay. We did that. Now I can make some lanterns if we have the parts for them. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll call it we'll call it there. Okay, so achieve soul level 4, hunt Shrike, and then craft one of these lanterns. Not both, but one of them. And then complete Zai's quest, the Ironclad. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that, I guess. And then I'll get that Meet the Master quest next time. Actually, matter of factually, I'll craft the Skarn lantern, and then I'll call it. Complete one of the following: craft Skarn's Defiance, craft Strike Zeal. It's part of the same quest chain. So I can luckily make this because I got rock scales from breaking off its armor. Made the lantern, and then Light the Way is done because it's only one of the lanterns. So my lantern tap is bound to V, but V is on my mouse. Just by the way, I have a mouse bind for that. But you have an instant cast and a hold to cast. The instant cast just gives you like a quick effect, and the hold to cast is more of like hold to cast in this game are most of the time for damage or for attack speed bonuses. That's pretty much how they mostly go. And the instant cast can be either give you more damage, more attack speed, survivability, all kinds of stuff. But that is gonna wrap it up for this part of the playthrough. And these are going to be some long videos. I was not really expecting it, but I should have known better. Anywho's, hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully I'm not too all over the place, and I'm making things somewhat clear. But anyway, guys, that's the video. If you liked it, make sure to like rating. It helps the channel a ton. And I want to say thank you very, very much for watching the video. It means a lot, and it's very helpful. So thank you guys for doing that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.